either the food you want or the food that you have to suffer with. All right? That's not healthy weight management lifestyle. But focusing on where you want to be and why you want to be that. So, you want to play basketball again? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, not that I want to play basketball. I do some exercise, but not basketball.
Okay. Basketball's over.
Yeah. I'll play with my sons, but not yeah.
One of my whys is I want to continue to lift weights with my sons.
Okay.
And I want to tire out my granddaughters. You know, how many grandparents get tired out by their grandkids? I tire mine out. That's my goal. You know, I don't care if they're 3, 5, 10, 12. I want to just keep tiring them out. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this as far as a little more medicinally. What allergies do you have? What medical conditions do you have right now? So we focused on what you desire to be. We focused on why you want to be that. Now let's look at your current reality. Where are you at right now? What medications are you on? Any allergies? You don't have to write down the technical term for it. You can just write down diabetes, hypertension. If you know, you might be on Coumadin or warfarin. You might have heart issues. You know, just write down those conditions. So, are you taking medications for diabetes, blood pressure, lithium, thyroid, any other medications? Do you have high blood pressure, diabetes type 1, type 2, gout, any gluten intolerance, sensitivity, things like that, soy allergies, food allergies? Write those down. Okay. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Still writing? I know my wife has a list she carries with her. And I feel so blessed because I'll tell you another why. As I talk a lot about my wife because she's my wife. She's my hero of what she's had to deal with. And so my why is I want to be in the best health to take care of her. On the good days, I love to be her care lover, I say. On the not so good days, I need to be her caregiver. And sometimes that takes me to catch her or lift her or whatever. And so every day I work on my core. Every day I work on my core. You know what the core is? Your stomach. Yeah. And so stomach, legs, muscles. Because if you're grabbing someone, how many here have worked in the hospital or caregiving? When you have to hold someone, if you don't lift with your core, lift with your legs, your back is in a whole heap of trouble. All right? And if my back hurts, then I can't wear out my grandkids. That's all there is to it. I need to be there for my wife. I want to be there for my family. I've had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. I'm a pastor for a lot of years. I have great kids. I'm blessed. But I want to be there for my wife. Or I want to be there for you. Okay? So, that's a little bit more of my why, that I wake up saying, I'm going to build habits of health. Every day, I want to be 1% better. Every day, I want to be 1% better. At the end, I want you to write down, we're going to write down some action steps, how you can be 1% better every day. You know, if we make a commitment to be 1% better every day, you know what will happen a year from now? We'll be 365% better. That's pretty cool. And if you're 365% better individually, and I'm 365% better, all of us are 365% better, exponentially, what is that? Any mathematicians in the room?
A lot.
A lot. Thank you, Doc. Doc's degree is in medicine, not mathematics. Okay. All right. Let's get into now some habits of health. And for those that have come in, we're either creating and nurturing habits of health or habits of disease. If we're not moving forward with our habits of health, we are creating habits of disease. Okay? So, the goal and the intent of this Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise seminar is to initiate relationship so that we can build habits of health together to bring transformation to the Bahamas. Because God loves the Bahamas. I heard Miles Monroe preach. I guess I should say Dr. All right, let's get into some healthy habits. I want you to write down 1 to 25. 1 to 25. Number 1 to 25. What I am sharing is nuggets of gold, that I call them nuggets of gold, that I've learned from Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. And we'll talk about some of his books that you can download, an app. In fact, while you're writing from 1 to 25, when you get finished, if you can take out your phone and go to your Play Store or your iStore, because I want to see if you can download an app. Okay? I want to see if it's available in the Bahamas. I'm sorry? The app is called Habits of Health. So if you can do that, find out, that would be great. And yes, you'll have to register, but they're not going to hound you. In fact, what the Habits of Health app is, it is designed to assess you in your daily habits of health. And it starts with eating 6 times a day, drinking 64 ounces of water, and little information called Stop, Challenge, and Choose, which is designed to, when we are feeling those triggers, whether emotional, usually emotional, triggers in our mind, to stop, then to challenge what we're feeling, and then to make a choice. Yes, sir.
You did 6 times a day, the joke or serious stuff?
Oh no, that's serious stuff. You eat every 3 hours. You eat every 3 hours. You don't eat a whole meal every 3 hours, but you eat every 3 hours because that keeps your metabolism up to burn fat.
The reason I asked the question is because I eat like 6 and 7 times a day, but I thought I was in an error. I thought I was doing it the wrong way.
Well, it depends if you're eating fried corn.
To hear you say that, so you make me feel good.
Good. Excellent. You made my day. You made you feel good. Now, hopefully, you're eating the right thing. You know, the
Candy-
fried conch,
candy
mac and
bars.
cheese, that's not necessarily
Candy
the right
bars.
thing. I'm sorry?
Candy bars.
Candy bars?
Yeah.
Well, it depends what kind of candy bars. If
Oh,
they're-
Henry.
Oh, Henry? Oh no. Oh, no, Henry. No, that's not good.
Really?
It's not healthy.
Snickers.
Oh,
No?
sorry. I know it is. I love it. Yeah.
I don't want to butter your presentation, but give me that hand. Give me just that hand.
6 times a day.
I mean, candy bars. Are you
Yeah.
saying none?
And sugar is not your friend. It needs to be a low glucose, low sodium, balanced, and we'll talk about that. I mean, guys, I am feeling that I'm making myself available to you and to whoever else joins this group. Either on, and it's gonna be a Facebook group. I'm committed to walk with you on this journey. And I'm committing a year of my life to this. So when I say, where do you want to be in a year? I'm going to take these papers from you and I'm going to say, okay, how can I serve you in being the better version of you in a year? Eating candy bars is not necessarily the right. It's not the right thing to do. It's not necessarily. It's just not. Okay? Carrots are high in glucose. Carrots and diabetes are not good for each other. Okay? And we have a doc. You know, hey doc, you here?
Yeah.
Ah, there you are, the voice. The doc and I are working together on this. Okay? And, you know, having a dietitian and those things, I'm sure that there's amazing resources within the Bahamas, certainly within Freeport, that can come alongside and nurture us so that we can reach our goal. Okay? Because isn't that what we want? We write down a goal just to write it down. I preached a lot of years and challenged many, many people, but I didn't give them tools. Now we have tools. Were you able to download that app?
Is it Dr. Hayes?
Dr. A's.
Oh, I did not tell him, but-
Habits of Health, Dr. A's, it's by Metafast, Inc.
Hey, Stacy.
No, the,
Hey, Dr. Hey.
Dr. A, Dr. Anderson.
Habits of Health,
Habits of Health, and the app has little
Metafast?
stones. I'm sorry?
Metafast.
That's it. Little stones on top of each other. And those stones equate to macro habits of health. Healthy motion, healthy weight, healthy rest, healthy environment. I'm forgetting two. Healthy finances. So those are macro habits that this app will help you walk through. But it starts with a healthy weight management system. It worked. Awesome. All right, Bahamas, you can download Healthy Habits of Health, or Healthy Habits, H-O-H, Habits of Health, and it's Metafast Inc. On your phone. Download it, and you can start today. It will track your 6 meals. Okay? It will encourage you what to eat for those 6 meals, and certainly I will as well. Okay? Excellent. That's great. That's great. So, number 1, answer this. You can write down 1 to 25 real fast. Julian will help you out here. Number 1, how many hours of sleep do you get in a typical night? How many hours of sleep do you get in a typical night? And for those of you that are live streaming, how many hours of sleep do you get in a typical night? Number 2, how do you describe the quality of your sleep? Do you wake up refreshed? Do you wake up intermittently all throughout the night? Do you have a hard time going to sleep? Do you have a hard time waking up? How would you describe your quality of sleep? Then on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your energy level throughout the day? What's your energy level throughout the day? Is there a time around 3 o'clock when you just... What's your energy level throughout the day?
Is 10 the highest?
I'm sorry?
10 the highest?
Yes, 10's the highest. If you want to go 11, go for it. 1 to 10. Okay. So, sleep and energy is a great thermometer of where you are at in your health. If you're not sleeping well, you're not building habits of health. If your energy level is low, you're not building habits of health. If your energy level is a 12, you're not building habits of health. You're on energy drinks. Okay? So, energy and sleep. Next is motion. How would you describe the quality and quantity of activity you do each week? Is it high, medium, low, non-existent, couch potato?
Could you repeat that again for me?
Sure. How would you describe the quantity and quality of the activity or motion you do each week? These watches and apps are great. How many steps do you do in a day? How many steps do you do in a week? Yes?
Can I blame my low energy level on overweight?
On what?
Overweighting or too much activities.
Too much activity?
That cause my energy level to be low?
It might be the candy bars you're eating this 6 times a day. No, again, this is not designed for a good or bad. This is designed to be your current reality. Because if you have a low energy level, then what we can do is we can work together and walk together in increasing that energy level. Identifying what you want it to be is the first step. If you have low energy, what do you want it to be? And then work together, work a plan with Doc and everything else to increase 1% a day. That's all it is. 1% a day, your energy level. Okay? So it's not a blame. We're just identifying where it's at. Okay? All right. This might help. How many hours a day do you sit? Sit. Sit at a computer, drive, sit. How many days a week do you exercise?
That's the next one?
How many? Yes. Next one is how many days a week do you exercise? 0 to 7 days. That's pretty obvious. Then what types of activity do you enjoy? What types of activity do you enjoy doing? I thoroughly enjoyed doing my core exercises and stretching exercises and push-ups on the beach in the Bahamas. That's what I love to do. The sunrise was coming up, and I had my little mat out there. I said, man, I could do this. I could live this lifestyle. So, yes, I'm looking for property in the Bahamas. So if you know of a good deal, let me know. Yes, sir.
Probably deal.
Huh? Deal.
Deal. House.
House.
Condo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not a boat. I'm not quite a boat guy. Oh. Speak up. Speak up, okay. For those of you that are seeing this streaming, I'm not going to yell to my Bahamian family in the room, so read lips. How's that? Okay. All right. Then, what types of physical activity do you enjoy doing? All right. Number 8. That should be 8. Number 8. Now we're starting to deal with habits of health of the mind. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fulfilled are you? How fulfilled is your life? And this is your personal consultation with yourself. So, let's say you're a doctor, and you come in, and he asks you a question, he or she asks you a question, and that is, so, how fulfilled are you? And you would answer that based upon your current reality so that you can be helped. Okay? So how fulfilled are you? Scale of 1 to 10. Number 9, how much do you worry? And what do you worry about? So that's 9A and B. How much do you worry, and what do you worry about? What you worry about is the emotional trigger that causes you to create habits of disease. Let me say that again. What you worry about is the trigger that causes us to create habits of disease. If we're worried about scarcity, if we're worried about not having enough money, not being able to pay our bills, if we're worried about those things, it's going to trigger either in our eating, it's going to trigger some habit of disease. Number 10, what area of your life tends to be the biggest stress for you? What area of your life, whether it's finances, your health, spiritually, mentally, what area of your health? Your kids, your wife? My wife and her issues, physical issues, create the biggest stress in my life. I could worry about her 24/7. I could worry about her falling downstairs. I could worry about her collapsing. I could worry about those things. And that would create a habit of disease within me. Or I can take that stress, which is what I've done. I've taken that stress and have caused it to become my greatest motivation to create habits of health in me. So, what creates the biggest stress in you? Taking that, addressing it, and if it's fear, I love to say kick fear in the face. That's what we're talking about. Those are the tools, those are the action steps that we're going to be taking in the next year. Okay? Number 11. What do you do for work? How's that easy? Okay, see how we just mild? What do you do for work, or are you retired? When I retire, I come and stay in the Bahamas, a lot of that retirement, I'm definitely going to learn how to fish Bahamian style. I'm going to learn how to do that. I tried last night. I didn't do very well. So what do you do for work? All right? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy what you do? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy what you do? Okay. Number 13. Now we're getting into food and hydration, which is about your healthy weight management, leading to your healthy weight management. How many meals and snacks do you eat per day?
6.
Excellent, okay. How many meals and snacks do you eat per day? And if you're a constant eater, then try to identify how many times you put food in your mouth. Again, I need to reiterate that we're just identifying your current reality. It's not good or bad. It's nothing to be shamed about. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's where we're at. Okay? So how many meals and snacks do you eat per day? When do you eat your first meal of the day? When do you eat your first meal of the day? Let's say you get up at 6 o'clock. When's your first meal? Okay. And if you want to write down what's your first meal, that's fine. Tuna and grits, I don't know. How many times a week do you eat out?
That's 14.
I'm sorry, yeah, that is
15.
15. 14 is when you eat your first meal. 15 is how many times a week do you eat out? I know Smith Point on Wednesday night, right?
You live here.
I do. I am here. Absolutely. I live here. My current reality, I live in Washington, D.C. area. But my goal is, yes, to live here, at least 3 months out of the year. Got to be with my Bahamian family.
I see that.
We have to transform the Bahamas with help, guys.
What about Williamstown?
No, I don't think I've been to Williamstown. Hey, Doc, have I been to Williamstown? Well, why not? Okay. How many ounces of water do you drink per day? How many ounces of water do you drink per day? You might say how many glasses of water, that's fine. But how many ounces of water or glasses do you drink per day? And then do you drink any other beverages? This is number 17. Coffee, soda, alcohol, tea, coconut water. Right? 18 is part of 17, but we'll do it 18. And that is, how often and how much do you drink coffee, soda, alcohol, tea, etc.? All right. Any questions so far? We're moving on to number 19. Okay. Now we'll move into some weight management. Number 19, if you're comfortable sharing your age, write down your age. Anybody older than 62? All right. I'm 62. 69. My goodness. You're 69? You didn't fix it. I didn't say you're sick. I mean, I did your hair. I really did. That's just awesome. Okay, how tall are you?
That's 19?
Really?
Yep, that's 20. How tall are you? 21. How much do you currently weigh? (22). What would you consider to be your healthy weight? What would you consider to be your healthy weight or optimum weight? You know, if I lost 100 pounds, I'd be this, and then I could do this. Just be thinking in that for your healthy weight. Or if I would weigh this, I'd be off blood pressure medication. I'd be off glipizide and metformin. All right. 23, have you tried to lose weight in the past? Have you tried to lose weight in the past? And then with 23 is number 24. What has been difficult for you about losing and maintaining your healthy weight? What's been difficult for you? It's been the peas and rice. It's been the mac and cheese. What's it been? Has it been a divorce? Has it been financial failure? What's it been? Sometimes it's the fact that you've never been told that you're worth anything and you're not valued. And so all of that just plays. All that plays. Someone told me, they gave me an image of, those negative thoughts that come in your mind that trigger our habits of disease. And they called it a drunk monkey. You have a drunk monkey in your head. I was thinking, a drunk monkey. What in the world is a drunk monkey? You ever heard of a monkey on your back?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Well, when you're creating habits of disease, that monkey on your back's drunk. And it doesn't know what it's talking about. It's just babbling. But we listen to that babble. And then our lives are led by a drunk monkey. So, if you have thoughts of you're not valued, you're listening to a drunk monkey. If you have thoughts on I can never change, you're listening to a drunk monkey. Because God has given us creative ability to change. In fact, He's kind of involved in that process. All right? Okay. Number 25. The last question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy do you rate your surroundings? Your family, your friends, junk food in the house, a case of O. Henry's and Snickers. What about your lifestyle? Is there habits of your health with your surroundings? It could be a berating wife or a berating husband. It could be, your kids. Let's deal with your current reality. We're not dealing with shame. We're not dealing with, you blew it. We're not dealing with you failed. We're dealing with this is where I am because this is where I want to go. For those of you that have come in, I want you to write down in 1 year, what would you like to accomplish? Where would you like to be with your financial or holistic health? Physical, financial, mental, relational. Where do you want to be in 1 year from now? And then why do you want to be that? Okay, and I'm going to do a number 26 for those of you that are, while they're writing those. Number 26 is there anything else that you would like to write down about your current health? Anything else? All right. Everyone here that has a cell phone, you can download a Habits of Health app. Because I've said this many times in this meeting. I want Dr. Collie to come up in just a moment. Doc, can you hear my voice? All right. Doc's going to come up and talk about some habits of disease. And then I'm going to finish with some habits of health. And he can talk about habits of health as well. But let me tell you just a little bit as he's gathering his thoughts. And I want the doc to talk about habits of disease that are cultural, that he's experienced, because the doc deals with disease all the time. That's what doctors do. This is an opportunity to be preventative. How many desire to prevent disease rather than deal with it? All right? So are we all in this together? Do we desire to prevent disease, whether it's financial, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, any disease, anything that creates dis-ease in our life that binds us from experiencing freedom? That's what this is about. That's what this group is about. And I believe that with this group, I'm going to say something, and it's going to be live streamed, and somebody can call me crazy, that's fine. I believe this group can be the start of transforming the Bahamas. I believe that with all my heart. Yes, sir.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, hey, I got a hand. All right. I felt like I was in church again. Okay, I got a hand. All right. So, Doc's going to come talk about habits of disease. I'm going to finish up with habits of health. But this is my passion. I got involved with a company that is currently not in the Bahamas, but it's in the United States, and it's in Hong Kong, it's in Singapore. Their desire is to make the world healthy. All right, you can find out about the co-founder of this. His name's Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. And on this app, when you download it, there's something called Stop, Challenge, and Choose. Stop, Challenge, and Choose is a tool for you to become 1% better every day. When you are confronted with an obstacle, when you're confronted with a habit or an emotion, that drunk monkey, when you're confronted with that, then this app, you can hit Stop, Challenge, and Choose in this app, and you'll actually get a video from Dr. Anderson encouraging you to stop. Let's evaluate, let's assess, let's go through this little assessment of why you're feeling this way. And then challenge it. Challenge it by saying, is this a habit of disease or a habit of health? Is this going to make me 1% better? 1% closer to my goal for 1 year that I set August 3rd, 2019? is this 1%, if this decision, is that going to encourage other people in this wonderful, healthy together Bahamas group we're starting? And not only will we have this app, but my goal with the doc is to have a Facebook page with all of us in and whoever else desires to be healthy, to share these moments. Because I guarantee it, we call it double dog guarantee, that you're not facing something that's unique. We all have challenges, and we all need to come together. You know, I was listening to something on the radio while I was here about how the Bahamas has to come together. I guarantee you, you're not going to come together spiritually. You're not going to come together politically. I know that. I live in the United States. Politics doesn't do it. Religion doesn't do it. But you know what can bring people together? A desire to be 1% better than themselves every day. Chasing the better version of you will create a togetherness. And I believe that's in the Bahamas. I believe it's ingrained in the Bahamas. So, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson created this Stop, Challenge, and Choose. And on the basis of that, has seen hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people's lives transformed. Okay? There's more there. I will let you know that I'm going to be working diligently with the leadership in this company to have the Bahamas registered, have this company registered in the Bahamas. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm in this for the long haul. My goal is 3 to 5 years to have this company here. All right? And I have no authority to say that. That's just in my heart. And so I say it within, just in the small group and streaming. All right. Okay. It's all over the world. That's fine. All right. Ready to learn about some habits of disease so that we can counteract those with habits of health? I didn't get any hands. I'm not in church.
Yes.
All right. Let's hear it for the Dr. Collie. That was a golf clap, guys.
Thank you, John. How many are you learning so far?
Yes.
Yeah, this is my brother.
Yes. From another mother.
Yeah, so thank you again for coming. And we have our lawyer here so she can incorporate for us. But all of you, welcome again. So as we continue, we're looking at habits of disease, and WHO, the World Health Organization, talks about disease is not just the absence, or health is not just the absence of disease, but it's that holistic, and I'm paraphrasing it. And I like the discussion this morning, the emotional, the psychological, the physical, the spiritual, the financial, all of these things, the relational aspects. And if you are writing, continue to write. We're going to make it interactive. We're not going to be talking to you, we're talking with you, okay? So, come in, George. So all of these factors either push us toward health or push us away from health. So let's look at the emotional. I know John spoke a lot about the emotional, but you could continue to write. What are some of the emotional things? And let's look at it culturally. Because you know there are different things here. What would you say are some cultural factors that affect our health? Okay, you want to start emotional, financial, anything.
Eating habits.
Cultural, eating habits. Why? Dietary habits. Why? Why?
Culture.
Why is it the culture? Learned behavior. Okay. Tradition.
Solutions. I mean,
Say
socialization.
socialization. Okay, but we said it's passed down from generations, but our parents and grandparents, great-grandparents lived older. I had a great-great-grandmother, my grandmother's grandmother, who lived 108. And from Andres, huh? All the additives and the food. Okay, very good. So why don't we go back to when grandmother those used to catch the fish fresh and get the fresh conch and get the ground provisions and get the grind up cornmeal. Why don't we go to that?
Time.
Okay, so write that down. It says time is a factor. What is it? Because we went fishing yesterday and I didn't realize until our guest came in how expensive fish is here. We went to buy fish and I'm thinking, wow, you could just throw a line over. We went to a restaurant and John said, why isn't fish cheaper here? I mean, you can go anywhere. Canals are all around the island. You know, docks, you go fishing all the time. And you can throw a line over and there's fresh, free fish. It's not like other countries where you have to pay a license to go fishing. You can catch fresh fish every day. I was on a particular beach and a guy was going out swimming. Tide was low. And he said he went out about a mile and there was conch all in the seagrass, right here. And most people can do that anywhere around this island. Maybe go out about a mile in some seagrass and you can pick up fresh conch. And it's crawfish season, same thing. So you said it's time. What about time?
I believe
People, sorry?
I believe that people change, not time.
People change. Tell me about that.
People change because we have to read and follow and see what works and good, not because our grandparents or our grandbefore do this. It's us for us to find out. But we got lazy and computerized and spend our time at work and all kind of stuff and don't do the things that we need to do.
Very good. So let's jump to cultural then we'll come back to emotional. So it sounds like most of these answers are dealing with a cultural mindset. And we're living in a modern age now, eh? But we talked about value earlier. John talked about value. Where are we placing our value? Where is our, if our health is our value, then we'll create the time. We create the time for everything we want to do. Yes, Ronald?
Prosperity is a good thing and a bad thing.
But prosperity means you can buy better choice of foods, eh?
No, prosperity would probably get us away from the old times. The times that you don't really live healthy and what's not. Because it is what it is.
Good. So let's look at some of these points. Let me give you a few pointers based on what you're saying. Summarize it to help us. Because once we identify these cultural, we start off with cultural, then we go to the financial, emotional, up. So culturally, John was asking this, and I said, you know what, culturally, when we went to a few restaurants, if they don't give you, we went to one restaurant, and my wife says it too, we went to one restaurant, she said, oh, they always give you a lot of food. But culturally, if we go to places and they don't give us a lot of food, we feel robbed.
Yeah.
And that's right?
Yes.
Culturally, we want to go to a restaurant where they give us plenty peas and rice, 2 pieces of fish, and some extra food, and then we don't, we feel robbed. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
You'll tell me, I'm not going back there. But if you go someplace and they put 2 stampers in your plate, you're happy you're going back there, right?
Yeah.
So culturally, so the food, even growing up, let's go back to our childhood. Growing up, you didn't have, a certain amount of meat on Sunday. Some houses have 2, 3, 4 meat. You didn't have that, you were seen as underprivileged, eh? What about when you were small? If you were skinny, this new trend is being slim. But growing up, if you were skinny, they thought you were sick. You were not fat, man, you whap out. You bony, you have worms, you too full. And then your teenager, so it's almost like we compensated, eh? He got older and made it, and he said, listen here, I'm not going to be poor anymore, right?
Yeah.
What about culturally with our women? If you're a skinny woman, we ain't want no skinny woman, right? You want a little, what they say? Be solid. Even in high school, the gals had to be what? Solid, man. The skinny girl, you didn't want no skinny girl, right? You wanted a what?
Solid. Solid.
Solid. So we don't realize how deeply ingrained these things are. Huh? But now the trend is changing, and now we're in this middle state because we've been taught to do things culturally. And now there's a change, the information is coming. We were taught to put salt beef and use lard. Y'all remember lard? I remember shortening. Lard cooking in your stuff. Then all of a sudden the new information came out and, oh, you need to use healthy plant-based. So now we had to change. Avocado oil and the coconut oil and vegetable oil. Because we grew up eating lard. And when you cook that bread and coconut oil, you gotta have that lard in it. That's what gives it a taste. What about certain foods that are cultural that are not other places? Conch, okay. What else? What about butter? You like butter on things, right? Everything gotta have butter. You cut your bread, fresh baked bread, it gotta have butter on it. How many of you eat bread and butter in the morning? See all these things. We have the reverse whole 20, 30, 40, 50 years of what we're being taught. What about salt? You gotta season everything with what? Salt. Your fish, your chicken, and that in there, your food. Huh? So like John said, and I'm saying, we're not blaming, we're looking at where we are. This is the reality of how things have been over these many years. So getting up in the morning, let's start our day. So we're looking at habits of disease. Getting up in the morning. What is the first thing you do?
Drink water.
You drink water now. Very good. That's the new thing now, so I'm doing that too. But what were the habits we did before? Maybe start with you. Now, grits is a part of the staple of the country. Or tea and bread. I had a gentleman come, very close friend of the family, and he was talking about tea and bread, and it triggered some memories, you know, because that was a part of the normal cultural breakfast. You get up, especially you who live maybe on the other islands, you had your tea and bread, your big bread with butter, and your big cup of tea with plenty sugar. I wouldn't call any brand, huh? Or the cocoa one, or the sweet milk. These were, all of these things were creating habits. And then what do we take to school? Or what do we give our kids to go to school? What do we buy, huh? Sausage and chips, and cookies, and juice. So we have a culture of sugar, right? And then you give them $3 to buy what at school? Chicken and fries. Bologna sandwich. And orange. Okay. Okay. But now, $2, $3, they either buy chicken, and even the schools now. Oh my goodness. So you see, it's a whole transformation that has taken place. It starts from preschool, kindergarten. When we get the children candy to eat, right? They cry, you give them candy. They do well in school, you give them what? Candy. They go to the doctor's office, you promise them what? Candy. All right. They take the shot, you promise them what? Candy. Okay.
Doctor offices on candy.
Doctor's office and dentist's office on candy. All right? The doctor and the dentist. Because you have to promise the children something. You don't promise them an apple. You promise them you can get a blow ball. When we leave from here, we go into McDonald's or Wendy's, or you can get chicken and fry or cake or something, right? So it's, okay. Then after school, pick the kids up what they want. Fast food. So they're being programmed. All of these things are habits. They're being programmed. And so now we're seeing even more childhood obesity and diabetes now. So by the time they reach teenage life, how do they break these cycles? Then when we teach them how to cook, what we teach them to do, how you make your peas and rice. You gotta have your fat, you gotta put your ham skin, and you gotta have your peas, your salt beef. Then you have your soup, you teach them. Mama taught you to make your pigtail, your pig ears, your salt pork, your cow heel. Alright? We've been trained, guys. We've been trained to eat this stuff. These are the habits, and it's a cultural thing, and it's an accepted thing. So how do we change the culture? How do we change the mindset? And very rare, the only vegetable you had was what? The coleslaw would be the only vegetable you had. Huh? Yeah. All right, so these are some of the habits that were developed culturally that affected the food and where we are today. So we're not blaming all of us. It's taking that opportunity to evaluate these things, only because we see this so often. And I see it so often as I share with patients, I realize, oh my goodness, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. So let's look at the next point. I want to jump to financial. What are the financial habits that drove us to this? Or what are some financial things that got us to these habits of disease?
Depression,
Oh, okay. Depression. What do you mean?
emotionally depressed.
Emotional.
So you satisfy that need.
People travel all over the world to come here. We have 6 million people that come here every year in this country. Why are we depressed in the Bahamas? And we have everything that people want to come and reset. They come to relax. They come to enjoy. They come to go on the beach. And I asked John this, and we were talking about this, and on that depression, we'll come back to emotion. I'll go to financial, but I wanted to stick a point there. And he was staying at a villa for the first 2 days near the beach, and he's talking about swimming. I said, I don't swim in the morning. I like to swim in the afternoon when it's nice and warm, after the sun is being. I said, we black people don't like that cold water, all right? He said, yeah, that's true. So he said, some people were swimming. I said, who was swimming? Tell me who was swimming. He said, most of the people who were swimming looked like me, white. All right? So 6 a.m., 5 a.m., only the white folk were swimming out there. But I could say that. I said as a joke to me in this, you know, you go on the beaches today, empty. The locals are not enjoying the sun, not enjoying the ocean, not enjoying the fresh breeze, not fishing. And there's a stress in the country. Eh? I mean, people come here from cruise ship, we went by the port, people look and enjoying themselves and having a great time in their bathing suits, and we're here and we don't enjoy it. So let's look at financially. Is there a, so we'll come back to the emotion, very good point. But let's look at financially. When you go to the store, do we, and I know it's a national thing, but bag of apples, or corned beef. We had a big debate last year about corned beef in the country, right? They're about the same thing, or you find financially purchasing healthy stuff more expensive? We know that. But is it way more in terms of making choices?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Exactly.
Huh?
It depends on the size of your family.
Size of your family. So it's easier.
You have to make a choice over a bag of apple and corned beef. You don't buy the corned beef because it will stretch to feed the family.
Okay, so it's almost a financial stretching the funds to feed the family. Because the cost of food is expensive in the country. Now, healthy food, I want to challenge us on that one. Because you go to the farmer's market. Yesterday we drove around, we bought some connect. It's $1 or $2 a bag. You go to the farmer's market and buy the bananas. Who said you have to eat corned beef? You can buy your local bananas. You can buy your plantain. You can grow it. Okay? You can grow your moringa in the back of your yard. You grow your pumpkin, your tomatoes. So is it really more expensive, or is that the excuse we make? Because fish, you can go buy a bag of fish, $20 bag, and get 10. You go fishing.
You have fish fresh every day because you can.
Okay.
But financially,
Yes.
a family of 5 to 6, and because we have a feeding ministry, this is not the statistics based on that.
Right.
A family of 6.
Family of 6.
Buying fruits and vegetables is a treat because 1, they cannot afford it financially. 2, it's too many mouths to feed. 9 times out of 10, they're making minimal wages. So therefore, to make a choice to buy fruits and vegetables, which is the more healthy approach, they have to buy the processed food, so to speak.
Do they have to?
Yeah, they have to because financially
But we said it, but all right. Okay, very good point. Very good point. Very good point. All right, so do they have, now I don't want to challenge us to that. Now, we've been conditioned to say, I believe, because when we look around, we have local foods here. You can buy mangoes. You can pick mangoes. You can grow watermelons. You can buy tomatoes.
Back to the Genesis though.
Yes.
Your average household is 5 to 6
5 to 6
individuals.
Right.
So if, in terms of me having to buy a mango over buying a bag of processed rice or corned beef or otherwise whatever other canned goods to feed that household of 5 to 6, I am going to buy the bag of rice and the corned beef. I'm not going to buy the mango because
Now,
that's the time.
very good. Let me answer that. Come to more of your question. But let me challenge that point. Let's challenge that point. Mama and Papa them. Only Papa work. Mama stayed home. 7 children to feed. Non-stop. How did they do that with less a budget, less financial resources, fed everyone?
They grew their ground provisions.
Grew the ground provision. Okay, come, hold on.
That's because,
Go ahead, 1 second.
Bahamians are teensy, and they prefer to purchase things over purchase healthy food.
Ah, okay. Hold on. Coming back to you. Sensei, you're the point. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Hold on. Go ahead.
If we focusing on health, then I'm not denying the fact that we're bananas and everything is good. But if we're talking about providing food, making sure that the family
Exactly.
eats, and talking about the economy and rights.
Right, but okay, very good. I come to you all too now. But let's touch on this point here from attorney. And we could say, she said, it's a teensy culture. And that means like things. Instead of saying things. Teensy, you like things. Okay? So, all right now, let's go to this very good point. Because this summer month now, see, summer months, people going away. They didn't save up them. See, and I agree with that point. I didn't realize that, but it makes sense because this is summer, and all through the year, Bahamians like the shop. Bahamians like to spend. Bahamians like quality clothes, shoes, and items. That's a fact. Right? Now, in light of that, and I see it all the time in healthcare, people wouldn't get their annual physicals done, that's $80, but they will go to the store and buy a nice bag, some nice shoes, get their hair done, get their nails done, right? Women who say, I don't have the money, I'm not knocking anybody, I'm talking about our culture, and I'm talking about a financial, cultural mindset. That I gotta have the name brand clothes and shoes and outfit, and I gotta have the ASU, and I'll starve myself to have that ASU because I want to buy something for August and I'm going shopping. And we take care of everything else beside our health. And even though the food might be a little bit more, you spend less because you don't buy if you don't have to pay to purchase the medication, isn't it cheaper? If you have to buy $50 to $100 worth of medication a month, isn't it cheaper to invest that in getting the quality foods to nourish your body? And so I think it's a cultural and financial thing that we focus more on outside than inside of our health. I've seen that in health, but challenge me on that. Go ahead.
No, hold on.
Yeah, but first of all, our Bahamian teensy as it relates to
I gotta stop.
teensy in relation to health. Go ahead.
You are talking to us.
Yes, sir.
And each one in this building agree with what you said. We are talking about the people that we dealt with
Yes.
in the feeding ministry.
Yes.
Those people cannot take mangoes and fruits and apples to feed their family. The route that we are talking about, they have to go that route. And Mira, you can make the exchange.
Okay, all right.
Everyone can make the
But
exchange.
fish is healthy,
Yes.
and they can have fish.
Some of them don't even know how to throw their line up.
No, but we could get fish cheap here. We can get cheap fish. You don't have to eat the pork chop.
We
Some of them
cannot-
have to get noodles.
We don't have to eat the pork chop.
Your presentation is quite
bad for
Okay.
You know I support you.
No, you're my friend. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but see,
Yes.
these people, we are talking about it in the area that we go to help people, they can't.
Go blow it.
Doc,
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Doc,
So-
that statement.
Go ahead. One minute.
It's a broad statement.
Okay.
And not every Bahamian teensy, when I do understand the learned friend concept.
Yeah.
And the feeding ministry, I became.
Okay, you're talking about giving people who don't have it.
Yeah, one can't.
Exactly.
Who can't
One
pay
don't fill.
completely.
Exactly,
Right.
so that was a
I
very
understand.
broad
I understand.
statement. I came
But it's a
here-
cultural thing that
I
is
came
real,
here late
right?
because I still have 30 food in my car that I was distributing. I have 30 left because I figured let me come, get the knowledge, and,
Yes.
I mean, that I already know most of it in any event, before we go and distribute the balance of it.
I'm not going to give you a video early.
Right.
After I put the food.
I know. Okay, let's fast forward then. All right, hold on one minute. Go ahead, John.
When we're dealing with health, there's an emergency preparation axiom, and that is you have to take care of yourself first. Put your own mask on first. How many have flown, right? In an airplane, the first thing they say is about going through the emergency preparation procedures in the event of an oxygen deprivation. The mask drops. If you're traveling with someone, what do you do?
Put the mask on them.
Put your own mask on first, because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anyone else. We're dealing with, what Doc's dealing with here is a systemic disease in the Bahamas. The classifications of people is a systemic disease in the Bahamas. There is, as we take care of ourselves first, then we will be better prepared to give to those that don't have, to empower those that don't have. So, but we have to, at least today, if we can stay focused on personal habits of disease, personal habits of health, okay? Because these are very, very important issues that need to be dealt with, absolutely. They're not going to be dealt with today, all right? They're passionate, I'm passionate about it, all right? But we have to take care of our own individual self first, so that we can fulfill the passion. And in 1 year, if all of us, cumulative, become 365% better from today to August 3rd, 2020, we're going to be able to make a difference in the lives of people that do not have. But I don't want to give them a fish. What do I want to do? I want to teach them how to fish, and I'm going to be the first one that learns how to fish. So when you're dealing with finances, it's a major, major systemic disease issue. Let's take care of it individually, as well as all the other habits of health. Doc?
Thank you. I like this though. I love this because we are. Say, come. Go ahead.
Oh, amen. Very good.
Okay.
Good morning. When it comes down to finance, one of the things, I'm not a caveman, but one of the things we must learn is that how we see food. A lot of times we say, an apple can't, I used to have that notion, an apple can't fill my belly. A mango can't fill my belly. I have to have them heavy meat, chicken, that, until I realized I was in the hospital for that. And after that, the only thing I do in the morning is drink a cup of hot water, no tea. An apple and a banana, and that lasts before 12 o'clock.
Wow.
I have something. So it's just, when it comes down to finance and eating, it's the mindset. And that's going to happen because, trust me, that first 2 weeks, I was as thin as a roach. But then, after I realized, and as Doc says here, it's not going to happen next week. It's going to happen maybe next year. Look at me now, I was 32, I was waist 32, and now I'm waist 36. And I'm not eating heavy meat. I catch my fish almost every Sunday. I go out and catch my fish. 2, 4, 6 pounds of fish. Eat my fish. I have 3 pounds of sugar lasting from last year, February, and it's still in my fridge. I don't really do those things, but then it's a mindset. And if you do it, I don't feel no difference in telling you that it can be done because I'm doing it myself. So that's my 2 cents.
That's why we're here, because we're learning from each other. Very good. It can be done. It can be done. It can be done. Go ahead. And you had a point.
Here's a point.
Yes.
The non-taxable items that our government has made available to us are the unhealthy,
Yes, ma'am.
no nutritional value. So if our government has the interest in teaching the population the proper and the right way to eat healthy, they should take the ban of the expensive fruits and vegetables, which is a more healthy approach, So let's get to the genesis. Yes, the mindset is people need shifting, but our government mindset needs shifting too.
I don't think they consulted
Very
with
good,
with
very
a
good.
nutrition when they
Yes.
came up with those tax-free items.
Corned beef tax, no
Definitely they
tax,
didn't consult the
corned
Right,
beef.
right.
Can you imagine that?
Right. Very good. All right, so let's move. I'm coming to you in a minute. So this is what we want. We want to flesh this out. Of course, this is like John said, and I totally agree, this is a national issue. And it is all throughout the system. There are many factors to change. Many things to change in that process, okay? We're going to bring John back in a minute and talk about health. Again, you talked about the sugars. Very good point. What about sugars? Sugar is very cultural. Now, we were talking about something as well, John, about health and the formation. You said the genesis of the country. You have to understand. So, the colonial system affected that. Because sugar is a colonial thing, you know that? Meaning we were sugar field producers in the region. The whole Caribbean, all right? And so sugar is and it's a British thing. British love sugar. Go to England, it treats the sugar. So, our sugar intake, we love sugar. Let's talk about sugar. All the studies are showing now that sugar is bad. And I'm talking about for myself. I taught about health, but I had to learn these things over the last few months as well. And so let's talk about sugar. Get up in the morning, sugar is added in everything in our country, right? We love sugar. How many love sugar? You can't have tea without tea, cornflakes. The children, what's in the store now? You buy the sugary one. We don't buy the... Okay? Okay. So how do we deal with sugar? By the midday, sugar. And if we could make ourselves better by taking away sugar. We don't need sugar in things. I always tell patients, we do not need sugar in our meals. You know why? Because sugars are in almost every item we eat. The rice, the bread, all that is sugar. It has carbohydrates. It is sugar. We don't need anything else. It's broken down sugar. The bread, the rice, the grits, the juices that I even fruits. Fruits are full of sugar too.
But I just said natural.
Natural sugars. But then you look at the juice, and then one thing I started doing, these healthy habits, or these habits that cause disease. You grab juices because you see it says fruit juice, but you look at it, it is only 10% or 5% juice. The rest is water and sugar. What about cutting sodas? What about sodas? We love sodas. Who love Coca-Cola? I'm not calling any names, but who love sodas?
Yes.
How about cutting those things out? A popular thing in the Bahamas, I don't know if they have it still in the U.S., Kool-Aid. Who grew up on Kool-Aid? Who grew up on Kool-Aid? I went to a place the other day and I asked, the lady shout, she was at a little restaurant, and the gentleman was asking her, what flavor drink she want? She said red. Said, what flavor you want? She said red. You didn't get that. You get that later. What flavor you want? Purple.
Kool-Aid.
What flavor Kool-Aid you like? Purple. All right? Yes.
But in the island, we grew up on ketchup. Which is the
Still
natural.
add sugar. Still add sugar.
That's
Yeah,
sugar?
sugar, that's sugar. But
Still add sugar.
I mean, it wasn't Kool-Aid, which is, added in the dyes and stuff.
Better than Kool-Aid.
Okay. So I'm going to summarize this. John will come in a minute. So when we look at habits of health, all of these things as you identify, like today, we're not blaming anyone. We're identifying in ourselves. And I had to do that. I'm still doing it. I look at meals now, choices. And I evaluate breakfast, lunch, dinner, in between the day. Another habit of disease in the Bahamas is snack in between. When I learned how to eat every 2 to 3 hours, it was more rewarding for me. Because sometimes you miss breakfast, and then you're so hungry and your body is craving so much when you eat lunch, you overdo it. But if we were eating every 2 to 3 hours, small, healthy, high fiber, masala, low sugar, high protein meals, that's another cultural thing. You can't hardly find these things.
But if you go deep to the core, Because statistically,
I'm still doing it. Yes, I am. Trying to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And another thing, the water intake. You know, that helps to suppress the appetite.
let's go to the system
Yes.
with giving the children all these unhealthy processed snacks.
Yes.
Statistics have shown that their focus is off.
Yes.
Look at so if you go to the genesis, how deep the situation is, they're not getting the grades, they're not up to standard in their focusing or their achievement because they're eating all these unhealthy, processed food. So it's taking their entire focus off.
And you, I want to put this plug in, you're making good, I come to your restaurant, you're making good, healthy, natural teas.
As much as I make them, they're asking me for the unhealthy food. And I'm saying, wrong place.
Last cultural thing, habit, before I turn it over to John in 5 minutes. Delaney, sorry, George, go ahead with your question. I'm waiting, sir.
Morning.
First of all, maybe I accident. But I think what happened, we speak a lot about fruits.
Yes.
But what we do not understand right now, the big market, they're forced now to be in demand. Whereas, as opposed to growing fruit natural,
Hybrid.
they're growing these fruits now unnatural, they keep a demand. Production meets demand. So therefore now, we think we're eating a good apple from the orange. The reality is, are we? Are we not? So these some of the things that you have to be very careful of. I found my wife right now, she's growing the best watermelon. When you get a watermelon, you have to put a bib on. That's how juicy a watermelon is. It's from my hands. You understand? But when you go to the grocery store, because you're too lazy, and being people we are lazy, sorry to use the half words. But when it comes down to your health, we gotta be more concerned about our health. So take more time to grow your own products, whereby you know what you're growing, you know what you're eating. But that false demand, it creates a problem. They're only concerned about the money, but do they concerned about your health?
That's true. So, very good.
Mama grew their own ground.
Mama those grew their own. But another point is, and I want to challenge that point, very good point. But we have farmers and farmers market in this country who throw away the stuff.
Yeah.
Why? Because we see the little sugar banana, we don't want that. We talk about food being expensive. We want the brand one. That is way more. You don't want the little brown sugar banana from Cat Island or from Andres or from Minutru. You don't want the orange and the lemon and the pumpkin. And I went to the store in Nassau, the balancing place. And you should see all the fresh stuff produced at a very cheap rate. And they're canning some of this stuff and they're good quality things. Don't tell me we can't buy it, it's here. We can purchase it. Every one of us have family in different islands. They sell it, but what do we do with it? We don't want that. It's something in us that says we don't like our own. We prefer it from Canada or the US or London. And we have the little bananas and the little orange and the little dilly and the little, papaya and a little sour sop and a little sugar apple that we eat here and buy here and get from here. The watermelons they grow here. Don't tell me it's not. It's possible. Last culture habit of disease is a lack of exercise. We don't like to walk. Look at the beaches. It's growing now. You see people 5 o'clock in the morning. All right, doing it. But you know, culturally, you know, getting up and walking for just 30 minutes a day. I tell clients to walk 30 minutes is the hardest thing for them to do. It's the hardest thing. And all the studies are showing now 10,000 steps a day. You should have at least 10,000 steps every day to lose weight and to maintain that weight. And I'm not talking, people always say, oh, I walk a lot at work. Not that type of walking. It has to be brisk, continuous walking, getting the heart rate up, focused walking. Not, hey, I walk from here and all day I walk to the bathroom at work. I walk over. That's not been done. It's a continuous 30 to 45 minutes, focused, cardiovascular, getting the heart rate up. But it's a culture in the country that we don't walk. Mama them used to walk from settlement to settlement. Papa used to have a little bike. All right? We now, like you said, in finances, if you can jump in your car, You don't need to walk anywhere. You go to a food store, they won't be the close right there. Instead of parking down there and walking here, all they ever try to find a parking space right here. Huh? And if you got a park, well, man, this place too full. I ain't coming to this seminar. If you have to park at the next building and walk over. All of these things, walking, loving to walk. We have the Bahamas. You know, swimming is one of the best forms of total exercise. We have waters all around us. I'm to blame too. I live right around the corner. I can go to the beach. We don't do it. We don't go swimming. We don't go walking on the sand. You don't need to spend a $100 gym membership. All of these things we have. But there's so many things taking our focus, huh? Okay, but as I summarize, it's the food, it's identifying, the cultural things, and what we see as healthy weight, what we see as healthy foods to eat, what our culture says we must eat. You know, Saturday morning you're going for your pig feet, stew count, pig feet, all these things we have to reverse. The financial factors, and of course that deals with everyone. Everyone is different, but I want to challenge you that we can buy healthy choices, healthy foods, and live comfortably and enjoy them. Now, as we're doing outreach ministry like you're doing, it's a little different because sometimes you have to give people what is made available. All right, at that time. But as we grow, you can slowly start introducing a little vegetables and fruits in there. Maybe ask your sponsors to give you a little, greens to go with it.
But
Get them into
as a
that.
psychologist myself, I realize that we've got to target the mindset of the people by educating them.
Right.
It first starts with educating them on the healthy choices that need to be made.
Very good. John, come. And the last thing is I like that teensy thing you go on it. Changing the teensy mindset. What does that mean? You set a budget. Bahamians need a budget. You need to save. And so, listen here. I can spend $100 on healthy foods. When I finish, that's it. So it means this month.
Take a survey quickly. Are you teensy?
No. I don't mean that. It's a reality. I like things too. We all like things.
But that's a broad statement.
But what I'm saying is,
it's a broad
right.
statement.
But what I'm saying is, if I allocate $100 a month for healthy living, guess what's going to happen? We talk about meal planning, right?
Absolutely.
If I budget, listen to my breakfast, if I just have tea and fruit, and lunch have a lean meat and some vegetables, and dinner the same thing. If I work out my meal plan for the week, I guarantee you it will only be about $50 for the meal that week. If I do it that way. And guess what? I'm going to save because I'm not going to stop at the fast food places and buy little stuff and buy little snacks and if I buy a case of water, that's what, $28 an account? That's one a day. That's $7 for a case of water. I add a little lime to that. I don't need to buy soda. I don't need to buy drink. I don't need to buy a smoothie. I don't need to, okay. All right. So if I budget, maybe even a little bit more, $30, $40 a week, I can live on a healthy diet. I can live a healthy lifestyle on that budget.
My healthy meal plan for your breakfast is kale, spinach, omelet. Comes with a yogurt, a banana, apple. $6. And I have people coming in, I want this, and this but this is a more healthy approach. And I have to be debating with them, but they want the grits and they want this and that, the processed food.
I want to know what the rest
John, go ahead.
That kale spinach omelet sounds really good. Okay, very, very quickly, here's some action steps. First of all, I'd love everybody to be my friends on Facebook. However, that's impossible because I have the limit on friends on Facebook. Therefore, what I want to do is create a Facebook group. Doc, is that up yet?
Yes, we have it, and I will forward it to everyone.
Do you know everyone?
The gentleman who did it.
Okay.
He's not it.
Because some of you that came earlier, you actually have written out things that you can hand back to me so that we can walk this journey. Those of you that came a little later, these questions are going to be on the Facebook page, that as you answer it and personal message me or something like that, then we can work and walk together. The intent is to be 1% better every day, so that this time next year, you're going to be 365% better. All right? And all of us do this together exponentially. The Bahamas will be that much more better. All right? Sorry for the English. All right? It will be that much more. So, action steps. If you have a phone, cell phone, download, go to your iStore or your Android store, Play Store, and download Habits of Health app. HOH app. It has little stones on top of it. It's created by MetaFast. Then Google Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson on Amazon.com and take a look at books. There's Habits of Health book. There's Creating a Healthy Journey. I believe there's Stop, Challenge, and Choose. You can purchase those books. I want to just make a point about nutrition and the expense of nutrition. Nutrition is not more expensive. Nutrition, the reason why is because when you eat nutritious food, you fill up faster. You stay full longer. And when you're not eating carbohydrates, carbohydrates are designed for one thing, to burn fast and need more. That's why when you go to if you have the privilege of eating with Dr. Collie at the restaurant, I'm working on him, okay? I just want you to know, I'm working on him. But he sees a huge plate of food come by that, and he goes, woo! Doc, what'd you see? Woo! What'd you see? He said, look at all that food. I go, it doesn't matter what was on the plate, it was the portion size. So, 1% better every day. Can we, in 30 days, get down to a 9-inch plate, not piled 9 inches high? Yes. 9-inch plate. 9-inch plate. And if you, as you download the app and it'll track your 6 meals a day, it'll track your 64 ounces of water a day, it will give you little nuggets of Stop, Challenge, and Choose whenever you need it. But can we get down to a 6-inch plate every 3 hours? Less than that, actually.
What types of foods?
Types of food. Now it starts with education.
Yes.
All right? There's 2 things that you have to have in order for healthy transformation or lifelong transformation. This is what this is about. Lifelong transformation. Optimal health. There are 2 things you need. You need education and you need access. Right now, the access is challenged in the Bahamas. It's challenged politically. It's challenged culturally.
Yes.
It is challenged.
Yes, sir.
But it's challenged in the whole wide world that way. All right? So, but education is not. We have the tools to educate not only this group, but educate whoever desires to be 1% better every day in their health. We have the education piece. It'll be available in the Facebook group because there's a part of education that is so vital. It's called community. In order to have effective communication, you can't do it alone. It takes a community of like-minded people. And it doesn't matter what political persuasion or religious persuasion, we come together in that Facebook page for one reason, and that is to have optimal health. Okay? So, there's another reality about education. The world is going artificial. Artificial food, artificial intelligence, the algorithms that are built into our society are scary because it's designed to control us.
Yes.
So, what I'm presenting is an alternative. I'm presenting an alternative to build emotional intelligence in our group. Okay? Emotional intelligence is based on relationship. Relationship with us, relationship in our families. It's about not only the head knowledge, but the heart knowledge. So, these questions about what do you desire to be in a year, and why do you desire to be that, are designed to open our hearts. We have to open our hearts to one another. It's not just head work, it's not just body work, it's a whole lot of heart work. Because life comes at us, and there are obstacles that come at us. And we have to learn as a community to embrace those obstacles and be 1% better every day. All right? So, I've really enjoyed this time, and I hope you hear my heart for the Bahamas, because you are Bahamians, some of you are Bahamians, and I honor and I respect the Bahamian culture. The bottom line is we're all people, and we all have the same basic needs. Yes, different cultures, but we all have the same basic needs. We're just people. My heart is God loves people. I'm in this because God loves you, and God loves me. All right? And that's what you're going to be getting from me in this Facebook group. We have recipes. We have all the education you can imagine. Now, does our company have a product? Oh yeah, it has a product and it's scientifically based, but it's not available in the Bahamas. Right? Yet, it will be. Then you have a choice. Before I knew, George, how much weight have you lost, George?
65 pounds.
65 pounds.
You.
How long? We started about 3 months. Yeah.
3 months. Yeah!
Let me tell you, I can tell a little thing. I've known George, oh my goodness, all my life. We were in the same church family, and I know his dad. He's my god brother, actually. My mother's his mother.
Godmother,
Yeah, and I know his family and everything. And so he was here, and we were talking about this healthy living. I introduced him to it about 3 months ago, a little after I started. I lost 20 pounds in the first 2 weeks. I got him onto it, and 3 months I can validate this proof. And
George, that's awesome.
65 pounds, awesome.
That is awesome, brother. Awesome. I've seen him on WhatsApp and a lot. I was his coach. So the product is going to be available eventually, but we're not waiting because the education piece is so important, and you don't necessarily have to have the product to be healthy. It's just so convenient because it builds that foundation of nutrition. I'm on it. I'm at my optimum weight, but I still stay on it because I have all my vitamins, my minerals, probiotic. It has everything. It's been scientifically proven by Johns Hopkins University, and over almost 20 years of proof. It works, all right? But that's just the small piece of it. That's just the 20% or 25% of it. You know, the community's the other 25%. Education piece is the other 25%. Having support from coaches, that's the other 25%. And if you're a mathematician, that equals 100%. All right? So that's what we're initiating in the Bahamas. Yes.
What is it, in relation or comparison to the keto? Because I do a weight management detox with smoothies.
Keto is,
What is the comparison?
well, keto's not quite balanced.
Okay.
It doesn't have a balance of proteins, carbs, fats. It also doesn't supply a lot of the minerals and vitamins.
Okay.
So that's the big difference. Balance is the key.
Okay.
All right. So
If I could put a piece
Yeah.
in the keto, this is a new thing now, and the keto, you can see it right there. The keto is basically, you're putting your body in a state of starvation.
Okay.
Yeah. And when your body, or fasted state, starved state, and when your body does that, it burns first carbohydrates, then fats. Proteins last. Okay? So if someone is on a deserted island with no food, your body will use up the carbohydrates. If it's not taking that in, it goes to the fat stores.
Right.
Convert the
Stores to
fat
fat.
to sugars that your ketones, particularly, that your brain and body can live off, and particularly your brain. So that's a new thing that they found. What I liked about this plan is that, like John said, it's very low in sugar and carbohydrates, high in proteins. So your body is now gently burning the fat stores while not going into the protein, which is your muscle, and start the wasting. You see? So you're adding the proteins in, the body is not getting any sugar or very low sugar supply, so now goes to the stored fat in your body and converts that fat into sugar, ketones to give your body the energy it needs from day to day. So it goes into a fat burn, and it's easy and gentle. The challenge with diets, this is not a diet plan, this is a lifestyle plan. Because diets have that problem. You go on a diet, you starve, and then in some cases your body now holds on to fat because it says, this is an emergency situation. This is an emergency state. No food is coming in. We got to hold on to this fat because we're not going to die, survival mode. But if you had a gentle way of nourishing your body wouldn't even recognize it. It's burning the fat, and it doesn't go into an emergency state. All right, so that's a key thing with the balance.
So are you saying the keto is a reversal? Is it fair to say that?
All of this, keto is the process in the body whereby fats in particular are converted into something called ketones. Okay, and that's a broken down compound that supplies energy to the body, particularly the brain. So these methods are just using the body's natural system to convert fats to this ketones, ketone bodies.
90% of them are on this keto. So when they come, I don't know much about the keto, but I just don't feel good about it. Because if you're eating all that fatty food, where's the protein to balance? So I'm not recommending it. I'm not very knowledgeable of it, but I'm just not feeling it in my gut. And at the end of the day, they still have to come to me for a detox management program. So then why are you taking the ketones? Or the keto diet?
If you fast for 3 days, you're going into keto.
Exactly.
Ketogenesis.
Right.
Okay? That's a natural thing your body goes into. So these new plans are just using your body's own mechanism to weight loss. But it's risky in some cases.
My clients.
Yeah.
Well, it's, if you're praying people, pray that the company moves forward in the Bahamas sooner than later. All right? Yes.
It is available in the United States?
It is.
So we can have access to it then, even though it's not available to the Bahamas, we can purchase it? Can it be purchased?
It's not registered in the Bahamas. Okay, the product is not registered in the Bahamas. And this company is a company of extreme integrity. All right, so you can't have it in the Bahamas.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
Where can we access it in the US?
Because then some of us have US address, so we can have a ship.
Let me answer this. When what happened initially, and like I says, I can't go into too much detail.
Okay.
But when we started, John was my coach, and he was able to place orders and have it brought, okay? We were able to bring it in.